Hello everybody, this is Astro Eleanor, and today we're gonna get into the zodiac signs who will enter their villain era in 2025. In this video, I'm gonna tell you about what to expect, what this villain era could look like for you, and how to prepare for it. First of all, Happy New Year's! I hope that this year will treat you amazingly. And also, right now, holiday readings are still available up until January 6th. So if you're looking for a personalized 2025 prediction for your love life, career, finances, and personal development, the Predict Your 2025 reading is for you. Or if you would like an analysis of your love life as well as an analysis of who your soulmate is, you get 2 readings, but you just pay for 1. Or an analysis of your finances in 2025 and how to use your birth chart to attract more abundance. I have a few more readings here that you may want to get into. So if you want to treat yourself this holiday season, if you want to start the year on the right note, then the link to get your reading is going to be in the pinned comment and in the description of this video. But without further ado, let's get into the villain era. Right now, the mutable signs are in their villain arc. Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Gemini have been in their villain era ever since March 2023. And it will continue to be this way up until 2025 and 2026. Mutable signs are getting a little bit of a break during the summer months in 2025. You're getting a little bit of breathing room because Saturn is going to enter the sign of Aries. So this means that the cardinal signs, Libra, Aries, Capricorn, and Cancer, will get a preview of what their villain era is going to look like. And for the cardinal signs, your villain era is going to officially start in 2026. First of all, let's get into what this villain era looks like for the mutable signs. Ever since Saturn entered the sign of Pisces, your life has been going through this major restructuring process. You're actually near the end of closing this chapter of your life. But ever since March 2023, you have been in a period of your life where you have been confronting your shadows. You've been doing a lot of inner work. You've been taking responsibility for your actions, for the outcomes in your life. You even had to hold yourself accountable and be honest with yourself and reflect on what needed to change. You've had to face limitations, but most importantly, you've had to grow in ways that you were not anticipating. You still have 1.5 years left of this process, and you will emerge from it feeling wiser, being stronger. You're gonna feel more mature, and you're also gonna feel ready to embrace a completely new role. So why this so-called villain era for the mutable signs? This is important because when Saturn moved into Pisces, it asked the mutable signs to set down roots where there were none before and to set boundaries as well. So where you may have preferred to keep things fluid and go with the flow, with Saturn going into Pisces, all of the mutable signs had to regroup. This is what I mean when I say you had to set some firm boundaries between your work and your private life or in your relationships. For Pisces, this process was really about emotional maturity and the management of your feelings, redefining who you are and redefining your identity. Gemini had to get really serious about the truth behind their words and the way that you were communicating. Virgo had to learn self-compassion and self-discipline. And Sagittarius had to temper their spontaneity, their idealism with realism, with the facts, being hit with the cold, hard truth. You guys are almost at the end of this chapter of your life. Let's just say there's a little bit of time left. Now you're really getting to the end point. You're getting close. There's still some steps to take, but you're reaching the finish line. And in the past 2 years, you have already looked at so many difficult parts of yourself that you may have preferred to keep in the shadows before. But you're also in the process of forging a version of yourself that is more grounded, that's more mature, a self-respecting version of yourself. As I said before, during the summer months in 2025, you guys are gonna get a break. You're gonna get some breathing room from this journey that you've been on. You're gonna be able to let your hair down and stop to smell the flowers and enjoy yourself a little. But things will pick up their pace once again in September. Saturn is going to go back into the sign of Pisces. During this process, this villain era, you are learning responsibility. You're identifying what truly matters in your life. And you're also learning how to separate fantasy from reality. So when Saturn enters the sign of Aries in 2025, the challenges and the responsibilities are going to move on to the cardinal signs. So the spotlight is going on Libra, Aries, Capricorn, and Cancer. You guys are about to experience your own initiation. You're getting a preview of what 2026 is going to look like when Saturn fully enters the sign of Aries without any interruptions. You're going to get a taste of the structural demands of this planet, of the restrictions it brings, of the realization of your limitations. You're going to get a preview of the sobering lessons that this planet brings. As a rule of thumb, cardinal signs are the initiators. They are the leaders. And with Saturn stepping into Aries, which is also another sign of leadership, your resolve will be tested. You're gonna need to face the responsibilities that come with steering the ship and being in the driver's seat. For Aries placements, the lesson of your villain era is patience. Taking measured action, making sure that you follow through with your initiatives and your plans. Carrying out your initiatives with long-term sustainability in mind. Cancer will have to balance the way that they nurture other people and the way that they nurture themselves. So you guys are gonna learn that nurturing others needs to come with boundaries, otherwise you're gonna feel depleted. You're gonna have nothing left in your cup to pour. Libras instead are gonna be challenged to reach a greater state of harmony in their relationships, to have a stronger backbone, make sure that you guys are standing up for yourselves, you are advocating for your needs and for your desires. Sometimes you're gonna need to make the hard calls and have the uncomfortable conversations because they're necessary, because that's also what helps you maintain the balance. Balance is a dynamic concept. Sometimes to reach a state of peace, there needs to be chaos, uncomfortability, and war before you can reach a state of equality and balance. You're gonna need to ruffle some feathers and stop making yourself so small. For Capricorn, you guys are gonna need to reevaluate the foundations of your life. You're gonna need to make sure that you are not standing on shaky ground, that there are some solid pillars that can carry you forward and that can help you carry your mission forward. And like I said before, this is just a preview. So during the summer months, you want to pay attention to the themes that come up, some of the lessons, the events, pivotal events that could take place. They're giving you a little bit of a taste of what is coming your way in 2026 when your villain era is going to officially start. Right now, let's just say you are in the preface of the book that you're writing with Saturn about this villain arc of yours. This is gonna feel like a gentle shift. It is preparing you, hence why I'm also making this video, because I want to make sure that you guys are ready, that you know what to do and you know what to expect. Saturn stepping into Aries is gonna be the rumble before the earthquake that's going to take place in 2026. That's when Saturn is going to settle into the sign of Aries, and then the lessons are going to take their full form. They're going to intensify. So as a cardinal sign, you're not just going to be a trailblazer, you are going to become the architect of your life, almost like a strategist. You will literally rebuild the framework of your existence. That's how intense Saturn transits can be, especially if you have a cardinal rising sign, because Saturn is going to be on either one of the 4 angles in your chart, so 1st, 4th, 7th, or 10th house. And cardinal signs, you guys are on the cusp of this maturity test that Saturn will put you through. Some things that mutable signs can do to make the most out of this villain era, villain arc with the Saturn and Pisces transit. First of all, you want to reflect on your growth and how far you have come. Look back at the challenges and the obstacles that you faced ever since March 2023. You want to identify some themes, and if you're having a hard time, I'm going to put a chart up here. The house where you have Pisces in your chart, that's the area of your life that you've been working on restructuring and rebuilding. Take note of the habits that you've outgrown, the boundaries that you've set, the confidence that you've gained. But the most important thing to do is to integrate the lessons. So once you realize the things that you've learned, you want to integrate that wisdom into your life and start using it. Identify the core themes that emerged: responsibility, maturity, or self-respect, and then incorporate these lessons into your daily life, into your routine. Carry forward these these boundaries. Don't forget about them. If they worked really well in the past and you've already set them, it's time to refine them and to continue pursuing them and using them. Third thing that you can do is to release any bitterness, any resentment, any guilt, any fear, any pent up emotions that are holding you back. With Saturn being in Pisces, we're really taking into account our limits, emotionally speaking, the things that hold us back, the feelings and the way of processing our feelings that is not beneficial for us. Let's say you could be somebody who tends to overthink things or be stuck in the past or stuck in nostalgia. Saturn in Pisces is really highlighting that. It's telling you put a boundary there. It's okay to validate your feelings, but you don't have to let them take over and let them control you. You're supposed to be in control of your feelings and your emotions. So with Saturn in Pisces, there has been this process of emotional maturation. So let go of any pent-up feelings through breath work or therapy, journaling or shadow work, any self-reflection practice that works for you. You want to make sure that you're letting go of any emotional baggage. And as you move forward, as you continue learning the lessons, make sure that you're not cutting corners. You never want to cut corners with Saturn or take shortcuts, because it's gonna come back and bite you in the butt. And for the cardinal signs who are just getting a preview of their villain era, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about how you can ease into this phase of your life. First of all, when Saturn enters the sign of Aries, start observing the patterns. Open your eyes. Make sure that your senses are tingling and you're paying attention to your environment, the people that enter your life, recurring themes and discussions and conversations. Pay attention to the areas of your life where structure could be lacking or where you tend to be avoidant. That could be an area of your life that could give you some trouble during the villain era. So before it fully starts, get your shit together in that area of your life. I guarantee you it's gonna put you 10 steps ahead, because you're gonna need to do half the work required and you're not gonna have the heavy burden of Saturn right on you because you're preparing. So you want to take note of where you're procrastinating, where you're avoiding, where you're disorganized, where you're overcommitting, or where you're relying too heavily on other people. So start laying the groundwork really early. Begin by setting boundaries and adopting healthier ways of dealing with that specific area of your life. And you want to do that. You want to have a routine in place before the pressure intensifies when Saturn fully enters the sign of Aries in 2026. You want to start cutting back on distractions as soon as possible. You want to define your professional goals, your personal goals as well. And most importantly, have a consistent schedule set in place for your life. In the meantime, you could also find a mentor or a role model, somebody that inspires you, that you feel like has their together and that you could take some inspiration from. Take a page from their book. People who can handle responsibility and pressure effortlessly or gracefully. Learn what they do. What are their strategies? What do they do differently compared to you? You want to start learning techniques to manage your stress, because Saturn is a little bit stressful. Saturn transits are not easy. They are very demanding and very taxing emotionally and sometimes physically. So you want to be 10 steps ahead and learn how to manage stress beforehand so that you have a tool to handle the challenges that could be thrown at you and you're ready to face them. And you know how to course correct, how to problem solve when the situation comes up. And the last tip that I want to give you is to embrace a growth-oriented mindset. Instead of dreading the upcoming challenges, view them as opportunities for growth, for advancement, for evolution. You want to shift your mindset. And when that shift happens successfully, you're going to feel something click. It has happened to me so many times. And with Saturn, you know that the journey that you're about to step on is a journey of maturity. It's a journey of accountability. It's a journey where you will build emotional fortitude. Remind yourself that discomfort leads to growth. If you're always in your comfort zone, in that comfortable circle, you're always going to get the same results. So this is an opportunity to step out of that comfort zone and get successful and get things together and do things right. So with that being said, that is everything that I have for you today, guys. I hope that you are excited about your villain era starting and that the mutable signs, you guys are excited for your villain era almost coming to an end. Make sure that you follow me on social media if you want to stay up to date with the new content over there. I post almost every day. And with that being said, I will talk to you soon.